What should I do if the advice my immigration attorney gives me sounds bad? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our office here in St. Louis, Missouri. I've had a number of consults in the last few weeks where potential clients come into our office and try to blame their old attorney for a mistake. And I'm usually skeptical of these claims. You know, when I was a new young lawyer, I always believed the worst about my fellow members of the bar, my fellow lawyers. But I was lucky enough to work with a really brilliant young lady named Jennifer Whitlock. And Jennifer said, you know, whenever clients come in bad-mouthing their attorneys, you have to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times they gave their attorneys incomplete information. So now I feel like I'm much more balanced in my approach in listening to clients talk about their prior lawyers. But sometimes things ring true, and you can tell where the immigration lawyer might have given bad advice. And one of them, a man was needing to establish that he'd been validly inspected when he entered the United States, and there were some questionable details about how he entered. And his attorney gave him some bad advice. His attorney said, just answer "I don't know" to most of those questions. Well, when you're applying for a green card, it's your burden to demonstrate that you're properly inspected. And because he said "I don't know" to so many answers, that's really going to prevent him from getting an approved green card. He was found inadmissible for failing to meet his burden of establishing that he'd been properly inspected, and therefore he was not able to get his green card. And when he came to see me, there's not much I could do because he had followed his attorney's advice and given incomplete or "I don't know" answers to almost every question about his inspection. Now, what he could have done is gotten a second opinion. He could have talked to another lawyer. If something doesn't sound right, you have to trust your instinct. You have to trust your gut. Lawyers are not gods, and people get really scared of their lawyers. Sometimes people are surprised to find out that they can change their lawyer. We've certainly been removed from cases by clients, and we've certainly ended relationships with clients that weren't working out. And so, you know, the client is in charge, and it's your case, and nobody cares about your case as much as you do. And so it's your responsibility to make sure that whatever information you're giving to the immigration officer is accurate, and it's your responsibility to get your case approved. And so you need to be forthright and upcoming with your lawyer, but you also need to make sure that if they give you some bad advice, that you don't follow it, and that you make sure that you listen to your intuition. I had another young lady who was blaming her other attorney for some really bad advice, and I know that she got really bad advice, and that was about how she was going to live across the border in Canada but also live in the United States. And she was basically working for her home country's government, and she wasn't declaring that money on her taxes. And so there was going to be real questions when she applied for naturalization about where her sources of income were coming from, and her prior attorney apparently told her to just lie about it, to not report it on any immigration forms, and to not report it on her taxes. And so this was horrible advice, and it was almost criminal advice. So there are always alarm bells going off in the back of your head. And if somebody tells you something, even if I tell you something that doesn't sound right, you need to follow up. You need to push back. You need to question. You need to question everything. That's one of the great things about being married to my wife. She asks questions about everything. She explores everything. She knows it's her responsibility to make sure that whatever she's working on is as accurate as possible. She's working on some estate planning stuff with her mom, and she's working with a lawyer, and the lawyer's telling her things that don't sound right, and she's pushing back. Now, it's easier for her because she's an attorney, but you really need to take responsibility for your own case, to push back no matter who it is telling you that to do a certain course of action. But ultimately it's your decision, ultimately it's your case, and ultimately it's your life. So make sure that you feel comfortable, that your internal sense of right and wrong is being satisfied, and that you're not doing anything that sounds fishy. If somebody asks you to do something fishy, make sure you talk to another immigration lawyer and just run it past them. It's worth the money on a consult for a second opinion to keep you from doing something that could create irrevocable harm on your case and your ability to ever move up that immigration ladder. Hope this video makes sense. Give us a call at 314-961-8200. You can email us at info@hackinglawpractice.com. Be sure to join us in our Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get updates whenever we make videos just like this one. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.